when you guys present, you'll put your time.
I'll kind of walk us through here, and basically the website, there's a link to it right there on that document if you want to peruse it on your own. It's very user-friendly. You can search through these through meta tags or content areas. As you see here, you can choose your content area, different criteria, the grade level, the item type, what kind of assessment you want. Do a certain alignment, how it aligns to the standards. Obviously, those would be our standards or the national standards. Then scoring, it assesses how the guidelines are clear, the criteria, what the actual structure of the piece is. Is it fair and unbiased? So you're looking at to what extent are most of the items of the task presented in as straightforward way as possible. So let's actually look at the language, maybe some of the tasks that you could do. I think it also gets into ELL features there. You get opportunities to learn, disengage the student in connections to real world.
There was also some very good guidelines in going about creating a rubric and how to establish what process that you're actually going to take to make a good rubric. As part of that, we really focused on action goals that we would like to see in place. We talked about the creation of a meta rubric that's specific to the arts disciplines, that would utilize terminology that would be discipline specific to help with teachers putting their own rubrics through this tool. We also looked at making sure one of the discussions that we had was specifically music-based, but it would be great to see a statewide rubric that would be able to be utilized in performance situations.
What we were thinking about was the opportunity for students to actually plot their own progress through a scope or sequence. For example, in art, if they started with an intro class, they could plot on this chart of a 4-year art experience how they're tackling these. And maybe they want to tackle something that's not in the curriculum, or they want to do it in a way that's not prescribed, and giving them the independence and the power to attack their learning law.
So understanding that deep learning process and understanding that they need to delve deeper and deeper, preparing students with a variety of learning strategies that prepare them with 21st century skills, and domain general and domain specific approaches to teaching content. And we put in a quote there from the article. This was like a 19-page article. So we did choose several very small pieces of it. It's really good, it's really long, but it is a research paper, so he talks a lot about the background of the thought process in why creativity should be taught in of itself.
Everybody has access to it. And focus on the deeper conceptual understanding, not just spitting back stuff. So again, to reiterate that, if we want to have creative learning, we got to move away from the model that most of us are familiar with right now.
The overall content, when you got to the meat and bones of it, was really good about teaching creativity. That domain specific was the idea that you can teach creativity in science, and if you teach it in science, it is not necessarily going to transfer to art. Or just because you are well versed in creativity and arts does not mean it's going to transfer to the other curriculum areas. And that was what domain specific was saying. And so we just gave you some direct quotes. Facing the teaching paradox, creative learning requiring that students can create their own knowledge, a constructive process that involves emergence. Creating learning that requires collaborative emergence with teacher and students working together to build new knowledge.
Writing a series of 4 articles for the blog, and they've posted, there's been one posted, so the next one is about to come out. And I would suggest that you take a close look at those, because we take a lot for granted in the arts around creativity and creative problem solving, and when we come into those conversations with the STEM folks and we try to hold our ground, they're often talking about something very different than we are.
And the article in there is assessing creativity, and the rubric that was being described is in here. So if you want to take a peek at it before you go on the copy.
And I sent that article on to Trudy, and her response was, oh, assessing creativity. Now that's something we really haven't talked about much. And Bronwyn has had brief conversations around that, so perhaps that needs to be part of the 3 days in June.
It's a hot topic.
One's done.
All right, wait.
Did you take it?
The other one didn't do its thing.
Look away.
Here goes.
One,
One?
two, awesome, three.
We have pretty